Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another round with Doghouse Racing League. We are here today at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Granite State 75. My name is Mason Highball with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action here tonight. 1080p, 60 frames a second. Folks, I hope you all are ready and excited for the action that we have here today here at New Hampshire. Doghouse Racing League always putting on some excellent action, and it's brought to you here by Shoney's. Would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to Shoney's for sponsoring the league and also for allowing Team Goon Squad to be back here and to broadcast these events. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and get into the action here as a few drivers already getting themselves out on the track here. We're looking at the number one of Eric Peck right now, getting a little bit loose there out of, I believe that was turn number 2, getting himself reset here for another attempt. But as drivers begin their qualifying runs here today, folks, we saw some incredible racing last week. And frankly, I gotta say, for that race, it frankly had a lot of very interesting events here. Excuse me, as my brain is a little scattered at the moment. But anyway, anyhow, currently at the moment, Andrew Corr, Jonathan Jennings, Christopher Leftwich at the very tippy top of our qualifying grid here, as drivers are quickly setting down the times of their race here today. And last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway was the race that I was looking for. Michael Schemia was able to come home with that win. So with Michael Schemia taking home the win last week, Justin McMahon in second, Donald Leftwich taking home that third place. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Donald Leftwich. Okay, that's interesting. Matthew Leftwich is the name that I'm actually looking for there. Thank you, Sim Racers Up. Anyway, anyhow, we are just about halfway through our qualifying run here today, and here goes Kevin Thompson, the 21 machine, putting himself up into third place here at New Hampshire. And I don't think, no, Kevin Thompson was at the race last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway, pulling off, it looks like he finished 19th at the end of the race and started 23rd. So Kevin Thompson here, the 21 machine, off to a better start than what he might have had last week at AMS, as he comes across the line and pushes his way up into second place. Folks, I also want to give a quick mention as well. If you're listening to the broadcast and if it sounds like I am talking in a tin can, it is because I recently moved, and the new location that I am now in, well, it's going to take me a little bit to fill out the space, also get some soundproofing, foam, essentially, and allow me to make the audio here sound a little bit less. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. I can't hear what you folks are hearing, so you'll have to let me know if it sounds completely unbearable or if it's a-okay, and we'll just keep going on with the show here. But looks like the majority of our field has completed their qualifying runs here. Andrew Corr, the number 12 machine, taking home first place here for qualifying with a 30.62 in just 2/100ths of a second behind them. Kevin Thompson, the number 21 machine that we just saw a moment ago, with 30.64 as his best time. 7/100ths behind that, it's Jonathan Jennings, the number 91 car, taking third place here, as Daniel Wilkerson is going to come across the line and put himself right at the very tippy top of the top 10 here with a 31.07. So there's a little bit of a spread here that I'm starting to see as far as times, but again, that is also attributed to the fact that drivers are out on track by themselves. They don't have anyone else to kind of build up a draft, really anything. So you're out there just giving it everything that you got, giving all that car has, and seeing what you can do. But that is going to be the end of our qualifying run here today. So let's go ahead and get started going through our Starting lineup for today's race here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Granite State 75. It's Andrew Cord, the number 12 machine, taking home first place here on the inside of row 1. On the outside, it's Kevin Thompson in the number 21 machine. The inside of row 2, it's Jonathan Jennings in the number 91 car. The outside of row 2, Christopher Leftwich in the 13. Matthew Nordberg in the inside of row 3, taking that 5th place spot in the number 64 car. Justin Mcmahon on the outside of row 3 in the number 20 machine. Hunter Simpson taking home 7th place here today. Christopher Simon in 8th. Randall Barnett in 9th. Daniel Wilkerson in 10th place with a very, very good run there at, well, kind of the last second. Michael Schemia in 11th here. Matthew Powell in 12th as we move ourselves down the grid here. Eric Beck in 13th. Kevin Powell in 14th, Stephen Tucker in 15th, Bill Gentry in 16th, Jeremiah Stutzman in 17th, Adam Gardner in 18th, Shane Weldon in 19th, and Mike Leftwich in 20th, and Patrick Gentner in 21st, rounding out our field here today. So as we just patiently wait for our drivers to begin to make their way around the track here with the pace car in tow. Here's a good view from the blimp camera from above here today at New Hampshire. Getting a nice shot of the field here. Still got a couple drivers awaiting to make their way down to the grid here. We'll see if they make that time here. There's just about 10 seconds left before that time expires. I do believe that could be a little off there, but anyway, let's see what happens here. There it is. So the drivers will go ahead and they will get a lap or two around with the pace car in tow, and once that pace car makes its dive down back into pit lane, they will come out of turn 4, and I'm not sure if there's a restart zone here at New Hampshire. Part of me is telling me that there is. And if you haven't been around for much of the Team Goon Squad broadcast that we've been doing here the past few weeks, recently-ish, it was a little while ago now, probably a couple weeks, maybe a month, iRacing introduced the restart zones for a lot of these tracks here on the iRacing service. Now, given it's not for all of them, it is a good chunk of the ovals that we have here on the iRacing service that now utilize those restart zones. Really great thing to see. Kind of gives drivers a little bit of an opportunity, to really hold up the field or do whatever it is that they need to do to be able to hold that lead. Is essentially what I'm trying to get at here. But there it is. It's a quick lap for the pace car as it makes its dive down into pit lane. There we go through the Geico restart zone. The green flag drops here for the very first time at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Kevin Thompson, Jonathan Jennings, they're going to be stuck side by side. Charles Jurek. Oh man, Charles, I would have loved to have been there for the VRL race, but you know what? I was moving, didn't have internet, didn't have my computer set up. I actually had to, give James my other broadcast yesterday. Anyhow, that's not important right now. What is important is what's happening down on track here for Doghouse Racing League, the Shoney's Thursday Night Cup Series for the Granite State 75. It looks like the top 4 already starting to settle out here. Ooh, a little bit of a wobble there, looks like, for Matthew Nordberg from the Bang Energy machine. Here, as we're taking a look, you can see Justin Mcmahon sitting in that 5th place spot. He's able to get himself away from this gaggle of cars that has formed behind him. He's got Christopher Leftwich as well as Christopher Simon, both of the Christophers, duking it out side by side with one another. Heading into turn 1, Simon able to get the better of that battle there. He's able to get himself a nice gap, nearly 3 to 4 car lengths between those two drivers now. As we come down the back straightaway into turn 3, lap 3 of 75 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Oops, that was the wrong button. Anyway, as the field is starting to get pretty well strung out here, what I'm starting to see Well, as this field is really comfortable going in this single file line here pretty early on, and I'm not sure that there's going to be any change to that. It seems, well, I haven't really put too much seat time here at New Hampshire myself in these next-gen cars, but it definitely seems like just the flat nature of this track, it's definitely going to be very hard to make any battles happen on the outside as the number 20 machine of Justin McMahon, he gets a little loose as he comes out of turn 2. That's going to cause him to wobble almost into the top wall out of the back straightaway here. Lap 5 of 75, and already the first caution flying here for the Granite State 75. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened here. So here we go. So this is all just Justin McMahon here, and you'll see it right there. All of a sudden, he just doesn't have any grip, and away she goes. That's how quickly things can go south for you in a race like this, especially when you're at a track like New Hampshire. And I mean, really, it's just any flat track in general, flat-ish track that you encounter. I mean, it's just tough racing all around, but really good job from these drivers thus far. And I mean, only having a one-car incident from that, really great thing to see. So hopefully we are going to see the number 20 machine, Justin McMahon, keep himself back on track here, just taking a little bit of a step back, if you will, in the pack right now. But as these drivers, some of them making their way down through pit lane, going to take the opportunity now to get, well, maybe a fresh set of tires, possibly just top off on fuel here for the remainder of this race here tonight. Again, drivers are only allocated 60% fuel for their entire, well, for the race here tonight. So, and you only have 2 sets of tires in the pits. So you got to manage things a little bit. Not too much, but enough that you know, you could definitely see some drivers taking some pretty risky maneuvers, and it might actually play out in their favor. Well, Charles, if you're still watching, buddy, I'll see you next week. How about that? Anyway, anyhow, lap 8 of 75 here tonight for the Granite State 75, brought to you by Shoney's. The lights are off on the pace car, so the next time around, well, this will be the last time around before we go back to green flag racing here tonight. Andrew Corr, Jonathan Jennings in your front row, Kevin Thompson, Matthew Nordberg the second row, Hunter Simpson and Christopher Simon in your third row here tonight for the first restart of the race here as we work our way through turn 3. Once we come out of turn 4, we'll see that pace car make its dive back down into pit lane, into the Geico restart zone, and away we go back to green flag here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Andrew Corr looking very impressive here on this restart, building himself up to nearly three quarters of a second gap here as we're looking at the battle for, well, really it's all of 5th place, but even looking further back here, it is quite the intense battle happening for, well, just depends on where you're looking, honestly. We've got side-by-side action happening between, looks like, Kevin Thompson as well as Hunter Simpson, just ahead of these drivers here. There you see Kevin Thompson, the 21 mobile machine, down on the inside of the Skoll 33 of Hunter Simpson. A little bit of a wobble there out of the 33. That almost could have been pretty bad here. Well, Hunter Simpson doing an incredible job keeping that Skoll 33 car together, clean, and we're still racing here. Green flag is still out We've got a little bit of a run here happening, it looks like, from the 35 of Christopher Simon. Looking down on the inside of the 33 as we come out of turn 2 and back down the back straightaway we go. Oh, whoa, who is this? The number 60, Mike Leftwich. Gets a little bit loose down onto the bottom of the infield here. Out of turn 2. No other cars involved in this one, and surprisingly a caution not thrown as well for seemingly almost the same incident that we saw with the number 20 machine. Ninja Baby Yoda Panther says hi. Hello, good sir. Welcome everyone that is tuning in and enjoying the broadcast so far. I hope you all are enjoying what you're seeing thus far. Let's go ahead and spice things up here a little bit, and let's ride on board with the roof camera. Jeremiah Stutzman in the number 71 machine back here in 15th. He's down on the inside of Bill Gentry. They're still racing side by side here. You see the 20 of Justin McMahon, who we saw earlier get involved in a lone car incident, getting a self-spin out of turn 2, having to fall back to the rear of the field. Now back up here into 13th. So great for Justin McMahon to be back up here fighting his way through this field. But again, it's going to be a tough one. So as a lot of this field right now, again, most of them getting pretty well calm, pretty well settled out, I would say. Oh, no, right as I say that, looks like Steven Tucker, the number 62 machine. There it is. The caution flies. Lap 15 of 75. Let's see exactly what happened here. It almost seemed like another self-spin here. Here we see the Shoney-sponsored 62 car. There, yep, just another self-spin out of here. Really good work. Oh, okay. All right, that could have ended a lot worse, but good work there from the 62 driver, Steven Tucker, getting that machine back out on track without any damage to the car either. It's always a kind of a sigh of relief, even if you are the result of a caution. You know, it's always a great thing to walk away with an undamaged car and be able to get back out on the racetrack and keep your race going. So a few of our drivers here making their way down into pit lane. You can see them, all of them making their way single file. That was a neat little shot there. But anyhow, Andrew Corr, Matthew Nordberg, Kevin Thompson, they are all going to stay out this time around. And out of the field here, they are amongst only, it looks like, only 6 drivers, actually. So the 3 that I mentioned, Christopher Simon, Christopher Leftwich, as well as Steven Tucker, all 6 of these drivers have not come down into pit lane yet. The rest of the field, however, has come down at least once. So that could have some, well, I don't want to say major implications, but it could definitely affect where these drivers end up towards the later half of the race here tonight. But second caution, it's lap 17 right now. You know, they could be expecting a different kind of race here today. So it's always kind of tough to kind of figure out what a driver has strategy-wise going into the night. I mean, most of the time it's usually pretty straightforward. You don't have to dig into it too much. But there are definitely cases, I think, where, you know, there's some tricks up these guys' sleeves, and I think more often than not you see them play it out and Maybe they're even downplayed a little bit. I don't know. I can't speak for certain. But anyhow, we've got an impressive field of drivers here that all, for this season right now, I mean, have put on incredible races. And so far, it looks like there has not been a back-to-back winner yet. Or a two-time winner yet, I should say, for this season. So as we come out of turn 4, the pace car making its way back down into pit lane. As we go back to green flag racing here. Once again, look at Kevin Thompson right on the bumper of the number 12 of Andrew Corr as we work our way into turn 1. Things are getting heated up here for the top 3, maybe the top 5 here as well. We got a car spinning in the backfield. It looks like the number 62, Steven Tucker. Oh, man. Oh, man. Taking a look here, the 62 Shoney's into turn 1. Let's see what oh, no. Another cell spin on this. Oh, man. That was rough. I gotta see who that other driver was. It was Randall Barnett. Randall Barnett gave him a good old smack there. I want to see if there's any damage to this 63 machine. There's definitely got to be something going on with this car. Oh, look at that. Never mind, that was just the paint on there. It doesn't look like there's hardly anything on there, but all right. Hey, we'll go with it. So it's our third car. I mean, okay, you know, this is kind of what I mean, folks, when I say that drivers could be kind of anticipating a different race. You know, going to these flat tracks, you can almost, I don't want to say guarantee that it's going to be, you know, a caution, at least one. But I think for, man, it's really tough to say because these tracks can be really unpredictable in a lot of different ways. I mean, you name any flat track that you can think of, and I guarantee you it's always going to be tough racing. No matter how much time you put into it, it's always going to be a tricky situation, I feel. But I could be wrong. You know, a lot of these drivers could be just absolute legends here on these short tracks. But we, you know, that's why we do what we do, to find out who those drivers are. Who is the one that stands out the most here at Doghouse Racing League? Who will take home a championship here for the Thursday Night Cup Series, brought to you by Shoney's. Right now, it's Justin McMahon sitting at the top of the season standings with Hunter Simpson in second, and Jonathan Jennings in third. But it's still very early on in the season, so it's really tough to say how things are going to play out right now. But so far, Justin McMahon is the man to beat. So here we go, the pace car is back into the Geico restart zone. The green flag drops here once again. Heading our way into turn 1, taking a look at this field as they go through turns 2. Out onto the back straightaway here. Few drivers bumping and banging up towards the front. We got a little bit of action happening back here as well. You can see Justin McMahon, the number 20 machine, trying to get his way back up here. Meanwhile, up front, Christopher Leftwich, the number 13 machine. Looked like he was in a 3-wide sandwich there for a moment, but keeping it together here. Oh, whoa, whoa. Big slide from Jeremiah Stutzman in the 71 Pennzoil machine. That was a little close for comfort there, it seemed like. Oh, Christopher Leftwich, he's in trouble. Not sure where the contact came from. We're going to have to take a look at the replay, as that was a big spin there from the 13. And for the fans cheering on for Team Leftwich right now, it's not going to be what they want to see here. Oh, man. See, folks, New Hampshire flat tracks, unpredictable. We literally just seen the rest of the field make their way through that turn. All right, you know what? We're going to back this up here. And we are going to analyze what happened here, because I feel that this is kind of important to understand. So, let's go ahead. Didn't downshift, didn't do anything weird. All it was is that 13 machine just found a piece of the track that really didn't like him, and out that rear end went. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but we won't go into the sciencey details of it all, okay? I'm only teasing, folks. Lots 27 of 75 right now here for the Granite State 75. Andrew Corr, Kevin Thompson in your first row. Matthew Nordberg, Jonathan Jennings in your second row. Christopher Simon, Hunter Simpson in our third row here right now. So Andrew Corr, the number 12 machine. The last 4 races that we've ran here with Doghouse Racing League, the number 12 machine has interesting. Okay, anyway. So, excuse me. So, the number 12 machine, the last 4 races, you know, it's kind of been half and half here. He's either been in the top 5 or he's been out of the top 10. There's kind of no real in between here. The first race that we had at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, started 4th, finished 6th. Race after that, started 11th, finished 16th. You know, it's kind of a weird trend here for the number 12 driver, as we go back to green flag racing here. So, kind of seems like Andrew Corr, strong in some tracks, not so strong in some others. So, definitely showing his strengths here at New Hampshire as he charges his way out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Here once again, lap 29 of 75 after the third caution here tonight. Look at this pack of drivers, 2 wide, about 3 deep, almost 4 if you add another driver back there. Getting lined back up here on the front straightaway, heading into turn 1, the 91 machine. Jonathan Jennings down on the inside of Kevin Thompson. He's able to make that dive into turn 1. The 91 machine, he's on wheels right now, just moving his way up through this grid right now. Right hot on the heels of the 64 of Matthew Nordberg, trying to track down the Bang Energy car, see what he can do here. It looks like someone's had a little bit of trouble here. Jeremiah Stutzman, quite possibly involved in something or the other here. The Pennzoil 71 car here making his way through turn 3, possibly another self-spin that we're seeing here. Lap 31 of 75. Single file for the most part down the back straightaway into turn 3. Andrew Corr with a very, very impressive, about a half a second gap between himself and second place now. That might not seem like a lot, but in terms of racing, that's pretty solid right now. He's not exactly out of the woods as far as, you know, if he makes a mistake right now, he is not guaranteed to be able to hold that first place spot. But right now he is looking pretty solid at this point in time, but he's got quite a few strong drivers behind him starting to push their way up here into that top 3, top 5 region. You can also see Justin McMahon, the number 20 machine, after a little bit of a fault at the earlier stage of the race here today. He's back up here in 6th place where he started at the beginning of tonight's race. So the number 20 machine doing fantastic here right now. Justin McMahon, again, the number 20 machine. I gotta stop saying that all the time. Justin here, the current championship, the season leader right now for the championship standings. So he is going to be looking to tack onto that lead here as well for his team with Southern Motorsports. Now, there's a little bit of a kind of a competition here between Elite Southern Motorsports and Southern Motorsports. And yes, those are two different teams here with Doghouse Racing League. There's also LNS Motorsports, who has found themselves contending with these teams here as well for the top 3 of the team standings right now. But at this moment, it's Justin McMahon and, well, actually, I stand corrected. It's actually Elite Southern Motorsports that is leading the team standings, but Justin McMahon with Southern Motorsports leading the championship at this point in time. But that is all fine and dandy, but it is still only race number 5 of the season. So again, you really can't play too much into that here tonight. And actually, it is race number 6. That is my mistake. Taking a look here, Jonathan Jennings has actually pushed his way up here into that first place spot. Andrew Corr, the number 12 Advanced Auto Parts machine, not looking too hot right now as he's got the 33 Hunter Simpson down on his inside. Going through turns 1 and 2, and I have a feeling once we come out of 2 and down the back straightaway, whoa! Big push there from Hunter Simpson as they come out of turn 2, and that was very, very close for these two drivers. But Simpson, unfortunately, having to drop all the way down to the bottom of the track there on the back straightaway to avoid that contact, as well, to just keep his car from, well, doing exactly what we've seen a lot of other drivers suffer from here tonight as well. Shuffling happening here between Mike Leftwich, Matthew Powell. You got Michael Schemia as well. That number 48 machine showing as the number 3 on timing and scoring, but Michael Schemia is running in the number 48 car here today. Lap 40 of 75 here, and there's a couple battles happening here towards the midfield. If you take a look at the track map right now, you can kind of see the different packs that have started to form here at this point in time. Taking a look at the left-hand side of your screen as well, you'll see the difference in time in seconds between each driver to the leader. All of these drivers kind of stacking up single file right now. Let's actually take a moment here. Let's ride on board let's see here. Let's ride on board with Matthew Nordberg in the 64 car for just a moment, and let's have a listen to the sights and sounds here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Great driving here from the 64 driver, Matthew Nordberg. Here in the top 5 at this moment. Single file here, for the most part, up here in the top 5. Taking a look a little bit further back. A little bit of a different story as we have some smaller packs starting to form. And drivers are, oh man, pushing everything that they have here tonight. Adam Gardner, the 56 machine, dropping down into the pits here as well. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to... Well, actually, now that I'm looking at timing and scoring, Andrew Corr, Matthew Nordberg, Kevin Thompson, and Christopher Simon all have yet to come down into pit lane to get fuel or tires or anything of that sort. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for these drivers, and I have a feeling that Andrew Corr is starting to feel some of the effects of being out on those older tires, and maybe possibly some of these drivers hoping for another caution to come out here and maybe play into their favor, but we'll just have to wait and see. Meanwhile, let's have a quick word from our series sponsor, Shoney's. Doghouse Racing League's Thursday Night Cup Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. If you're in the West Virginia area and you happen to stop by one of their, I believe it's 13 locations that they have there in the West Virginia area, let us know. Send a picture of us to our Instagram or Twitter. I believe we have either one of those. I believe Instagram, I know we do have for sure. Let us know that you stopped by there and that we sent you there, or that you heard about Shoney's through Team Goon Squad. Always love to see it. Back to the racing. Meanwhile, lap 48 of 75. Again, a lot of our field here going to be stacked up single file, just kind of clicking laps off, seeing what all they can do here. But what's really impressive here, Jonathan Jennings, look at this 91 machine. Let's see if we can get up here to the blimp camera. There we go. Just look at how much distance he has developed between himself and second place. You can get a view of that on the left-hand side of your screen at nearly 4 seconds separating these drivers right now. That is just absolutely incredible. Great to see that here from Jonathan Jennings, just coming out of, frankly, nowhere and dominating this field here tonight. Kind of midway, well, not necessarily midway, but you can almost say midway through this race, just kind of turning on the burners and saying, you know what, it's time to giggity go. So I respect that. I respect that. 26 laps left to go as it comes across our screen on the top of your screen there as we work our way out of turn 2 and on to the back straight away. Justin Mcmahon there. A couple of these drivers getting a little bit of wobble out of turn 2 there. Keeping it together. Still clicking off these laps. Matthew Nordberg trying to get up to the bumper of Justin McMahon. You can see, ooh, wow, okay, so here goes Andrew Corr, one of the drivers that has not come down pit road yet. This is going to be his first stop of the night with 25 laps left to go. Going to get on a fresh set of tires, I would imagine, as well as fill up that tank for the rest of the race here today. And looking at timing and scoring right now, so a few of these drivers, well, actually a good majority of the field here, came in lap 16 during the first caution that we saw here. Actually, no, not the first caution. I believe it was around the second or third caution. Speaking of cautions, what happened here? Let's find out, shall we? Patrick Gentner, the 97. Okay, yeah, a lot of the same that we've seen here tonight with, ooh, wow, okay, that was not the save that Patrick was probably hoping for. A hard contact with the top wall out of turn 2 on the back straightaway. Tyler Brown, I love Monster Jam. It's way better than NASCAR. Hey, man, you know what? The way I see it, you know, if it gets your adrenaline pumping, you know, if it gets you excited and you love it, why not, man? I think that all motorsport is interesting. I think that it has its place in everyone's heart, no matter what it is, whether it's NASCAR, whether it's Formula One, whether it's Monster Jam, whether it's motocross or sprint bike or drag racing, drifting, whatever it is. I think all motorsport is awesome. You know, I think it's the adrenaline, just the excitement that you get from hearing the engines roar and all that stuff, the tires screeching. It's all fun. It's all great. I love to see it. You know, and Monster Jam's pretty cool too. Seeing all those big trucks just fly through the air like that. Oh man, that stuff's wild. But anyway, we are here for what is going to be 22 laps of the Granite State 75 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And oh man, this couldn't have come probably at a better time for some of the, I mean, maybe not even a better, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the number 12, Andrew Corr, probably wasn't wanting that caution to come out right then and there, but I mean, hey, sometimes your wish isn't granted exactly when you want it, you know what I mean? But as our field gets themselves sorted back out and lined back up here, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will have more of the Granite State 75 with Doghouse Racing League, brought to you by Shoney's. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we'll be back for more iRacing right here on Team Goon Squad. Talk about timing as the pace car makes its dive back down into pit lane. Into the Geico restart zone we go, and it's 20 laps left to go. Jonathan Jennings, Matthew Nordberg, Hunter Simpson, all in our top three. Jennings here, the driver that has seemingly just dominated this field since about the midway point in this race tonight, and has not come away from that spot yet. And I think really has had anyone come to challenge him. Maybe a potential challenge here for Matthew Nordberg. Oh, a little bit of a tap there from Hunter Simpson in the 33 machine. They get settled back out here as they work their way through turn one. We're taking a look here a little bit in the midfield. Justin McMahon, who again leading the Drivers' Championship right now, sitting in 6th place at this point, where he started at the beginning of this race. And frankly, that isn't, oh man, he has had a tough time getting his way back up here into 6th place, let alone now 5th, as he works his way down on the inside of Michael Schemia. Here we're seeing Andrew Corr, the 12 Advanced Auto Parts machine. The driver who we saw leading a large majority of the race here tonight. And no, we do not have another caution out. 16 laps left to go. And Andrew, I mean, having led a very large chunk of this race here tonight and then fallen back a little, well, I can't even say a little bit, sitting outside of the top 10 and 12th right now, trying to make a move on the inside of Mike Leftwich. Oh, a little bit of door scrubbing there as they come out of turn 4 onto the front stretch across the checkered line into turn 1, but Andrew Corr winning that battle there. Oh, Leftwich almost getting into the right rear quarter panel of that 12 machine. Keeping it together though. Meanwhile, just ahead of those two drivers, Jeremiah Stutzman, Randall Barnett, both duking it out side by side here through turns 3 and 4. 14 to go as Jennings crossing the line here, and you can see Nordberg trying to keep within 2 car lengths of that 12, or excuse me, that 91 car. I keep saying the 12. Large string of drivers here in the midsection of this field right now. All of them with about a quarter of a second separating each of them right now. Unless you look, whoa, right as we tune in to the Little Caesars 37 machine, Matthew Powell getting a little bit wobbly there through turns 1 and 2. That's going to bring the caution out with 13 to go here. See if we can get a quick replay of what happened here on this incident. Here we go through turn 1. Oh, might have been, yep. No, okay, no, he was fine through that. Oh, it was the second one that got him. And you can even see there, looks like Mike Leftwich also trying to avoid that. Let's back that up here one more time. I want to analyze this just a little bit more. So there was that first kind of checkup there. Let's see if this gives us a better idea. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a weird situation to be in. A really tough spot and nowhere really to go. Yeah, Matthew Powell there just trying everything he can to stay safe in that situation, but ultimately not going to come out of that one too fortunate this time around, but still able to keep it out on track and keep racing here today, so I'd say that's a victory in my eyes, in the eyes of the caution. Yeah, anyway. So 11 laps left to go here, and as we cross the line, the lights should go off on the pace car, indicating this will be the last time around the track. Nope, they don't go off this time. Okay, so looks like we'll have another couple laps around before we go back to green here. So right now, Jonathan Jennings sitting third place in the Drivers' Championship right now. 1 win to his belt right now. Going to be looking to add on to that here tonight and possibly put himself in the lead for that Drivers' Championship for Team Elite Southern Motorsports. Again, those two teams, Elite Southern Motorsports and Southern Motorsports, competition there for that championship lead at this moment. The team championship as well, also rather interesting in that regard as well. So indeed, the lights are off on the pace car as we come down the back straightaway. It's going to be Jonathan Jennings and Matthew Nordberg in our first row. Hunter Simpson, Kevin Powell in our second row. Justin McMahon and Michael Schemia in our third row here tonight. Pace car with the dive down into pit lane, into the Geico restart zone across the checkered line, and 8 laps left to go here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Through turns 1 and 2, we're stacked up 2 wide, 3 deep. In the midsection here, a few drivers getting very close to that wall here, almost just kind of grazing it as they come out of that turn off turn 2 here. Turn 4 as well, you'll kind of see the same thing as they make their way onto the front stretch here tonight. 7 laps left to go. Jonathan Jennings still holding on to that lead, but Matthew Nordberg closing in as much as he can, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to challenge the 61 driver here tonight. Out of turn 4 here, the number 1 driver, Eric Peck, along with Christopher Leftwich here across the checkered line. A little bit of a tap here through turns 2, out onto the back straightaway. A little bit of a wobble there as well. We got some contact happening here in the backfield. Kevin Thompson involved. Oh man, Kevin Thompson getting knocked all the way onto the road course section here. Oh no, there's more action happening. Who was that? Oh man. Okay, we gotta take a look at what happened here. So there's Andrew Corr. Oh, man. Okay. So this time, not a single car incident from a self-spin. This time it was a little bit more than that. With 4 laps left to go here and the pace car is still in tow, I mean, basically going to be a shootout here to determine who is going to be the winner of the Granite State 75. So lights are still on the pace car. So again, once the pace car makes its dive back down into pit road, it's going to be a shootout all the way until the end. 3 laps that these drivers have to make here. And right now what I'm seeing, I don't know, Jonathan Jennings definitely seems like he's got the pace here at New Hampshire, but Matthew Nordberg, I think, is starting to pick up on some things here and might possibly be able to give him a run here in these final few laps. But again, Jennings is going to have that inside line advantage going into turn 1, so I don't know. It's going to be a tough call to make here, I think. But anything could happen here. Out on the back straightaway here, it's 3 laps left to go. Lights are off on the pace car. Dive down into pit lane, into the Geico restart zone we go. It's 2 laps left to go. Matthew Nordberg, Hunter Simpson, side by side here. Matthew Nordberg, look at this. Door to door here with Jonathan Jennings. Through turns 2, out onto the back straightaway. Nordberg stacked up right onto the bumper of the number 91 machine as we work our way into turn 3. More action happening behind these drivers. Shane Weldon, She seems to have been put out of shape here quite a little bit. We've got a few more drivers duking it out side by side between one another. Hunter Simpson, Matthew Nordberg, now side by side here for second place. The final lap is here. The white flag is out. Out of turn 2, out onto the back straightaway. Jonathan Jennings here able to get himself away from this field here. Now it's going to be a battle for... Well, look at this battle happening right now. Coming out of turn 2, there's cars wrecking behind these drivers, but it doesn't matter. Where are these drivers going to stand? They're wrecking even here. Oh, man. Oh, man. That was quite the battle here for these drivers as they come across the checkered line here for what is the end of the Granite State 75. Jonathan Jennings, Hunter Simpson, Matthew Nordberg all taking the top 3 here tonight. Great work from every single one of these drivers, and you can see already a few of the field here giving the 91 machine a few celebratory bumps and scrapes to that 91 car as they carry him to the finish line. It looks like possibly Jennings might have ran out of fuel as well. Nope, he didn't. He's still got enough to do a burnout. And there are your race results on screen. Here's we're going to go ahead and get ourselves ready for post-race interviews here in just a moment. Alrighty, folks, so we're waiting on a few drivers here to make their way down into the waiting room before we pull them up for their interview here. Just waiting for Mr. Nordberg taking 3rd place here tonight, the number 64 machine. Bringing it home in the Bang Energy machine after quite the battle here with Jonathan Jennings in the number 91 car. As it seems like we're going to have a little bit of time here before Matthew is able to join us in the booth. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to 2nd place driver, Hunter Simpson, in the number 33. Hunter Simpson here tonight, the Skull 33 car looking rather impressive out there. And kind of, you know, you were in the mid-pack of the field and really just kind of playing it safe, it seemed like. Just being real tame out there and just kind of playing things by ear, or by eye, if you will, and just waiting for your chances to arise, and they arose for you. Able to take home a podium here tonight, 2nd place. Hunter Simpson, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling really good. I'm very happy with the 2nd place, and I'm very happy that we had a good team finish with Jonathan winning the race. Super happy for him.
Yeah, it was a really, really good race here tonight, I think, for everyone involved. I mean, a lot of drivers here showing that New Hampshire is definitely a tricky flat track that we definitely saw a lot of drivers getting a little loose, particularly out of turn 2. Kind of walk me through that tonight, just trying to keep these cars tame and on the racetrack all race.
Oh, it was a little bit rough sometimes, but if you would just take your time through the corners and just set yourself up on exit, and you wouldn't run the apron as much, you wouldn't get as loose. But I guess some people just didn't really think about that.
Well, I guess not. It definitely seemed like there were more than a couple drivers that were experiencing that issue. And even the 20 machine, Justin Mcmahon, experienced that same thing towards the very beginning of the race, but was able to pull off a 4th place spot here tonight. Unfortunately, not a podium, but just, again, one of those examples of, well, being an underdog, I suppose, if you will. But anyway, Hunter, before I let you go here tonight, I mean, taking home a podium right now, I believe this is your first one of the season, if I'm not No, it is not your first podium of the season. I am incorrect in that. Actually, no, it is your first podium. I'm incorrect. So, I mean, given that this is your first time up here on the podium at a rather difficult track, how are you feeling about next week going to Pocono? Or Pocono.
I think I finished 2nd at Nashville, but I'm feeling pretty good about Pocono. You know, I have really amazing teammates that always help me out. They've taught me a lot, and so I'm super excited to get back racing with them.
Absolutely. Well, great to hear. Excuse me. Great to hear that from you here tonight, Hunter, and great to see you out here in the podium tonight at New Hampshire. But before you go and celebrate tonight, is there anyone watching the broadcast in the pit crew or at home that you want to shout out and thank?
I want to thank Daniel for having all this set up. I want to thank you for having the broadcast. Y'all do a good job every week to put us out there. I want to thank my teammates, Jonathan, Kevin, Matthew. I also want to thank Adam Gardner and Corey. Everyone just works so well together.
Absolutely. It's a great group of drivers that we have here in the Doghouse Racing League, yourself included. So, Hunter, great race tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next week at Pocono.
Thank you. I'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too.
Alrighty, folks, that was Hunter Simpson out of the booth here tonight. We're going to take things back just a little bit. We're going to go to the 64 driver, Matthew Nordberg, taking home third place here tonight. Matthew, sir, you were really driving the wheels off of that 64 car all night. First, you were chasing down the 12 of Andrew Corr for what seemed like forever, and then Jonathan Jennings just seemed like he turned on the jets, and away he went and took away the lead and ultimately the win here tonight. Walk me through what it was like just trying to keep up with Jonathan Jennings once that exchange happened between those two.
Yeah, I think congrats to Jonathan on the win tonight. He drove a great race, but I think we've had strengths in different areas of the track tonight. I think I was a bit better in 3 and 4, and I'd gained a 10th in that corner. But in turns 1 and 2, Jonathan was a bit better, so he gained that 10th back, and we kind of had that seesaw back and forth for a lot of the race. I was hoping to get him on that last restart there with the green-white checker. I was on his outside, but I just gassed it up a little too soon, and I couldn't get the turn on the car, so he was able to get out of there. But yeah, it was definitely fun racing with him tonight.
Yeah, it definitely looked like an exciting race out there on track, and frankly, I wish we could have got to see a little bit more of it. But, you know, with how difficult this track is, you know, and like you said yourself, you were a little bit better on one part of the track, and Jonathan was a little bit better on one side of the track. I mean, with how short these races can feel sometimes, I mean, what kind of goes to your head to try and, mitigate that? I mean, what can you do in those situations to try and improve that time and maybe even put a little pressure on that opponent ahead of you?
Yeah, I think definitely when there's a bit of a gap behind, I think in the first part of the race, I think I was in the back of a pack of drivers and we had a second gap to the next pack behind us. I think taking that opportunity to save tires when there's no pressure from behind and you can kind of just not necessarily take it easy, but kind of just, manage your stuff and making sure that the tires last all the way through the stint. I think that was one way to try and make up some ground, because New Hampshire's a really tough place to pass. We saw it there was a mix of fresh tires and new tires in the midpoint of that race, and I think the 12 car, he was holding off guys on 15 or 20 lap fresher tires. It's just really tough to pass here, so managing tire wear and making sure you don't get into the wall is definitely a big factor in running the race tonight.
Absolutely. Well, I think you did a phenomenal job of keeping yourself really in the top contender spot, I would say. Top 5, top 3, pretty much the whole night. And towards the end there, like you said, you were starting to reel in John there towards the final couple laps, and I think that final caution that we had there, like I said, had we had another maybe 3-4 laps, maybe it could have been a different result here tonight. But either way, Matt, taking home a pole is always a great feeling. And before I let you go here tonight, is there anyone watching the broadcast, anyone in the pit crew or at home that you want to shout out and thank for your success here today?
Just want to thank you guys for putting on a great show for us tonight, broadcasting the race for us. It's definitely a lot of fun racing in this series. I'm pretty new. It's only my third or fourth race, something like that. So definitely enjoying it so far. Always good to be racing up at the front, and I'm looking forward to racing next week.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me up here in the booth here tonight, Matt, and I look forward to seeing you next week at Pocono.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too.
Alrighty, folks, that is Matthew Nordberg out of the booth here tonight, taking home third place. Last and certainly not least, Jonathan Jennings taking home the win here after seemingly coming out of the coming out of nowhere throughout the field and taking that first place spot. Jonathan, welcome up here to the booth, and welcome to what is going to be your second win of the season. Jonathan, how are you feeling right now?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
Sound good when you're in victory lane.
Absolutely. It's always a great feeling when you're standing at the top of the podium. And, I mean, Jonathan, the first question that I really have for you is what did you do to put yourself up there in first like that? You know, it just, I know I caught a little bit of it when you were moving your way through the field. I think it was like around between lap 20 and 30, I believe it was, that you were just clicking off positions like it was nobody's business. I mean, what kind of clicked for you at that point in time in the race?
Well, I had fresher tires than the guys in front of me there, so I'm trying to take advantage of that and get the stage points, because there's stage points this year and it's kind of important. So I was trying to get there.
Well, you definitely put yourself up there rather quickly, and you were dominating this race practically. I mean, it was all race, it seemed like. Even during the cautions, your restarts were phenomenal, and the only competition that you really had there was with Matthew Nordberg, the 64 driver. I mean, was there any sort of doubt or really worry that you would have a little bit more competition there towards the end, or were you pretty confident that you were going to come across the line for the win tonight?
I don't too much care for the late cautions. I don't, you know, once it gets later, people get more aggressive. They tend to miss their marks, and at New Hampshire, it just takes a slight tap and I'm gone. But he raced me clean, and thankful for that.
Well, it was a really great race that you put on here tonight, and really clean racing that we saw here for, I mean, everyone that was battling it out. I mean, I know we saw a lot of drivers getting themselves involved with self-spins, and we did see a couple drivers getting to contact with one another towards the end. But anyway, anyhow, it didn't affect the race here tonight for yourself and the 91 machine taking home the second win here tonight. Jonathan, before I let you go and crack one open in celebration, is there anyone watching the broadcast at home, the pit crew, that you would like to shout out and thank here before you go tonight?
You guys in the booth for the broadcast every week. Daniel for putting us on each and every week. My teammates, Kevin, Hunter, he came on second. Adam Gardner, Matthew Powell, and Jeremiah Stuntsman. They do a lot to help me throughout the week. And I shout out my partner, Debbie. You go to their website and use Outlaw 91. Use the code, you'll get 10% off.
Well, that was Jonathan Jennings. Thank you for joining me up here in the booth here tonight, John, and I look forward to seeing you next week, and hopefully we get to have a similar conversation there as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely, John. I'll see you next week.
All right.
Alrighty, folks. Jonathan Jennings, the number 91 machine, out of the booth here tonight, as that is going to conclude our coverage of the Granite State 75 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action here tonight. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. If you did like what you saw, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Catch all the action that we have here on Team Goon Squad 7 days a week. Again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next week, same time, same place, for the Shoney's Thursday Night Cup Series for the Pocono 100. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next week.